You run a secret digital empire, silently manipulating every global election. It is 4:15 p.m. You are sitting at a desk surfaced with cheap faux wood laminate, staring at a line of dry Python script on your monitor. This is your third year working for this mid-sized market research firm. Your job is to scrub messy social media data and transform it into the bland pie charts and bar graphs your manager presents to clients every Monday morning. Sunlight squeezes through the gaps in the dusty blinds, illuminating the gray fabric of your cubicle walls. You are thinking about stopping by the grocery store after work to pick up some discounted pasta and then hitting the dry cleaners to retrieve your only suit. It is a Friday afternoon of suffocating mediocrity. Your script hits 82% completion when a logic error suddenly pings. As a veteran data cleaner, you instinctively trace the call stack, only to stumble upon an encrypted packet hidden deep within the bedrock of a public opinion database. Curiosity gets the better of you. You attempt to decrypt it, a routine 5-minute task for someone with your skills. However, as the file unfurls across your screen, you don't see consumer buying habits. Instead, you see a complex topology map where every node represents a voter and every line represents a precise psychological trigger. This list covers 40% of the country's swing voters, annotated with their deepest fears and most private biases. Your phone vibrates violently on the desk. It is an unknown number, but the screen displays text instead of digits. Turn off the monitor and leave the office in 3 seconds. You freeze, your heart constricts, you don't move. 2 seconds later, the elevator doors at the end of the hall slide open and 4 men in unbranded dark suits step out. Their eyes lock onto you with a terrifying, synchronized focus. You reflexively shut down the monitor, grab your coat, and bolt for the fire exit. By the time you push through the back door into the narrow alleyway, a black armored SUV is idling there. The rear window glides down to reveal a cold-eyed, middle-aged woman holding a photograph of your parents walking in their nursing home garden.
You have 2 choices,
She says, her voice sharper than the autumn wind.
You can die in this alley and let your discovery become an unrecoverable string of junk code. Or you can get in the car and use your talent to reshape the world. Our candidate must win next Sunday's vote, and you are the only one who can turn a 49% probability into a 51% certainty.
You look at the photo of your smiling parents, then at the suited men closing in from the alley entrance. You climb into the car. The moment the door thuds shut, your life of discounted pasta and Monday morning meetings shatters forever. 3 hours later, you are ushered into a command center 50 meters underground. There is no sunlight here, only the low-frequency hum of thousands of servers and the sterile glow of blue LED lights. 6 massive, wraparound displays pulse with real-time data streams. Your new identity is the architect. You are no longer someone who observes data. You are the one who manufactures reality. You take a deep breath, place your hands on the keyboard, and feel a shiver of power you never knew existed. Your first assignment is to intervene in a parliamentary election in Northern Europe. Your resources are staggering. A global network of 40 million active bot accounts, a generative AI model capable of producing hyper-realistic deepfake audio and video, and an unregulated offshore cryptocurrency account holding $500 million. Your logic is clinical. You don't need to make voters love your candidate. You only need to make them sufficiently loathe the opponent. You order the activation of Project Echo Chamber, slicing a rival's speech about taxes into a viral clip that suggests hidden discriminatory intent. Within 6 hours, you use 50,000 high-authority accounts to flood every social platform with the video. You stare at the propagation map on your screen. Every red dot represents a voter whose anger has been ignited. You calculate the risks. If the spread is too fast, you might trigger AI moderation. If it's too slow, you won't dominate the evening news cycle. You opt for a saturation penetration strategy, releasing a second wave of doctored financial records the exact moment the opponent tries to issue a rebuttal. Your fingers fly across the keys as your brain evaluates every variable. You feel the heavy weight of moral pressure, knowing these lies might destroy an honest politician's career or incite street violence, but you don't hesitate. Your survival depends entirely on your success rate. A week later, the results come in. Your candidate wins by a razor-thin margin of 0.8%. The politician gives a victory speech on television, his eyes gleaming with the false confidence you manufactured for him. You sit in a $20,000 ergonomic chair, watching real-time exchange rate fluctuations. Because of this election result, the country's energy policy will pivot toward your anonymous employer, a move that directly deposits $8 million into your Cayman Islands account. For the first time, you realize that money in your world is no longer currency. It is simply a metric of your will's impact. By the second year, your empire expands in the shadows. You are no longer satisfied with simple opinion manipulation. You begin building a predictive system called profit. You hire the world's top psychologists, statisticians, and former intelligence officers. None of them know the others exist. Each is responsible for only a single slice of the algorithm. You sit in your command center, watching a massive protest in South America triggered by inflation. Your goal is to ensure the protest does not topple the current government, which has promised to keep exporting rare earth minerals. You face a difficult decision. Strong-arm tactics might trigger international sanctions, damaging long-term interests. Inaction, however, means the regime falls within 72 hours. You coolly analyze the data flow and decide on layered fragmentation. You manipulate a popular local messaging app to send contradictory messages to different protest factions. You make the student leaders believe the labor unions have betrayed them, while convincing the union members that the government is ready to compromise, but only if the students are excluded. You process over 20,000 burst variables within 48 hours. Your stomach knots with stress, but your mind is preternaturally clear. You watch the crowds disperse in a cloud of mutual suspicion, a revolution that could have changed a nation's destiny neutralized by your fingertips. The thrill of this power is addictive, but it comes with a bone-deep isolation. You have no friends, no contact with your family. Your existence is a state secret. By year 4, you have mastered the electoral rhythms of 17 major economies. You realize that mere victory is no longer the point. You seek dynamic equilibrium. You use big data to identify which countries' social tensions have reached a breaking point, then apply pressure with surgical precision. You are like a piano tuner, plucking the strings of global geopolitics. During a cross-Atlantic trade agreement negotiation, you manipulate public opinion polls in 3 participating nations, forcing all parties to accept a clause that heavily favors your secret empire's interests. Your scale of operations now moves trillions in capital annually. You have your own satellite network to ensure your commands bypass any national physical firewall. Your methods for handling enemies have become even more efficient. You no longer assassinate them. You simply make them disappear from the digital world. By erasing a person's social credit score, draining their bank accounts, and forging criminal records, you can turn a powerful figure into a homeless non-entity within 48 hours. However, as your power grows, so do the risks. An anonymous hacking collective known as the Watchers begins tracking your data footprint. They are clever, bypassing your primary firewalls and attempting to geolocate your server farms by analyzing anomalies in the global power grid. You face the most significant judgment of your career. You could initiate the Scorched Earth Protocol, detonating your current servers and moving to a backup base, but this would cause you to lose control over 3 ongoing Asian elections, costing billions and ruining your credibility with your backers. Or you can attempt a reverse entrapment. You choose a massive gamble. You intentionally leak a false physical address while mobilizing your private paramilitary force in the Middle East. When the hackers arrive at a derelict industrial warehouse, they are met with devastating firepower. You sit before your screen, watching the thermal imaging feed, feeling absolutely nothing. You know this moral numbness is the price of survival. You aren't just rigging elections anymore, you are reshaping the human perception of fact. In your empire, truth is customizable, and justice is a byproduct of the algorithm. It is now late at night in 2026. You are standing on the top floor of a geothermal-powered data center hidden deep in the Himalayas. Outside, the snow is eternal. The freezing air feels charged with the static of the servers. You hold a glass of ice water, staring at a flashing red warning on the primary monitor. Next month, the world's most powerful superpower goes to the polls. The two candidates are locked in a dead heat. This is the ultimate challenge of your career. The situation has exceeded the predictive capacity of any single algorithm. Social fragmentation is at a 100-year high. Whoever wins, civil war is a distinct possibility, which would collapse the global economy and destroy the digital order you've spent years building. Your employers demand stability, but your models show a dead end. Every minor intervention risks an uncontrollable chain reaction. You haven't slept in 72 hours. Your decisions involve the fate of trillions in assets and the lives of hundreds of millions. You begin to wonder, do you control the data, or is the data using you as a medium to achieve some form of self-evolving purge? You watch the simulated voting curves dance across the screen, your fingers trembling slightly. An extreme strategy takes shape in your mind. If neither candidate can bring stability, perhaps you need to manufacture a third force. A virtual candidate, entirely fictional, rendered perfectly through digital technology. Within a week, you could forge 30 years of background, policy records, and family history. Using deepfakes and holograms, you could have him appear at every rally. This isn't just manipulating an election, it is the ultimate mockery of human political civilization. You pull up the Code Prometheus suite, a program you had previously mothballed. One hit of the Enter key, and every screen on the planet will begin broadcasting the speech of a man who does not exist. You would use every bot, every media outlet, and every financial lever you control to propel him to the highest seat of power within 30 days. You stand at the console, finger hovering over that red key. You feel a pressure unlike anything before, not from an external threat, but from the horror of your own agency. You realize you have reached a singularity from which there is no return. If you succeed, you become the true shadow emperor of the planet. If you fail, your entire empire collapses, and you become the greatest villain in human history. The storm outside intensifies, snow lashing against the reinforced glass. Radar shows unidentified drones approaching your coordinates through the blizzard. Is it a rival's probe or an attack from a desperate government? You don't know. You only know that time has run out. Every second, the global algorithms automatically generate millions of new variables. You look at yourself in the reflection. The analyst who once worried about a few dollars for pasta is long dead. Now, you are a vessel of power, a personification of probability. You feel the cold, dry air of the command center and hear the hum of the servers, like the breathing of a great beast. You don't press the key, but you don't exit the system either. You choose a far more dangerous path. You begin leaking the core secrets of both candidates to their respective rivals simultaneously, while cranking up the search weights for corruption globally. You decide to stop acting as a god who dictates winners. You will let the storm burn hotter until the existing order collapses in the flames, forcing a rebuild from the ashes. It is a gamble without a calculation. Your final rebellion against the precision-engineered world you created. On the monitor, the red lights of the drones appear at the edge of the frame. The server load alarms are screaming, hitting 98% capacity. You sit in your chair, close your eyes, and wait for the first wave of the fallout. The risk is unresolved, the pressure has never been higher, and the challenge has only just begun. In this empire of zeros and ones, you can never truly log off.